Omlissh, 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 Omlissh. Hi again everyone, welcome to another Oy'Nissh vlog. In this video, I'll be preparing what's known as Omlissh. That is, I'll be preparing what's known as Omlissh. Omlissh is the equivalent of an omelette, except that it's steamed instead of fried. So that's basically it. It's like an omelette, but it's steamed instead. Now this is important because later on when I start to do variation of Oy'Nissh omelette, you'll start to see why I use the steaming process instead. Well, it's not impossible to use the frying process, but I prefer the steaming approach. So this is an introduction into the making of Omlissh, which, as I said, is a type of omelette, but in the Oy'Nissh sense, I use a steaming process instead of frying. Naturally, there are various people with dietary needs and so forth. So generally, I'll use butter or margarine or plant-based or oil. It could be just general vegetable oil or olive oil. So it varies what you'd like to use. So that's one way of using a fat to help with the cooking process. And next is milk. Also, the alternative would be lactose in free milk, or for vegans, you could use something, an alternative to that. For example, soy or oat milk. So it might change the taste depending on what you use. And another ingredient would be salt and a pinch of pepper or something. And that's basically it. Yes. So it's and eggs, yes. You need your eggs. So this is not necessarily for vegans. It's more for people who can eat egg. So Omlissh, as I said, is a type of omelette that it's steamed instead of fried. So you need a fat base or oil, you need eggs, you need milk, or alternatively lactose intolerance milk, no, lactose free milk, salt, and pepper. It could be black or white pepper, or sometimes some people prefer cracked pepper. Now I'm going to show you the ingredients what I've got so far, and I'll make available online the different variations that you, in terms of the ingredients that you can use. And then I show you what it looks like when it's cooked. That's the basic Omlissh. In another video, I now show you what it's like when you start to add seasonal products to it. Because in the past, I've been doing some video about foraging, and I'll start to use some of these forage products into play. And that's why I mentioned about the steaming process, because there's something interesting when you steam it. And the good thing is, this process, like omelette, doesn't take long. It takes just a few minutes, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, 5 tops. So hope you enjoy watching this video. Thanks. So our first ingredient is the butter, or it could be margarine, or a plant-based one for those person who are lactose intolerant. So it's about 10 grams of butter or equivalent, or oil. You could use probably olive oil or general cooking oil. Then 2 small or medium sized eggs. Now some people prefer free range, some people prefer the barn one. It doesn't matter. But as you can see, these ones are small. These ones are actually free range. Yep. Yep, free range. So 2 small free range eggs. And we've got our pepper. So you can just shake it over into the ingredients. We've got our salt and our spoon, a third of this. We've got our milk, which is 150 milliliter or 150 gram of milk. So some people prefer the full milk, some semi-skim, some even further. Um, but again, if you're allergic to dairy, then you can use an alternative. Some people soy, but again, if you are allergic to soy, you can use oat. So there are different type of milk that you can use. And that's basically it. I haven't left anything out. Okay, so eggs. So you just beat the egg, loosen it up a bit. Add some pepper. As you can see, it just depends on how much you can tolerate. Again, some people are not good with pepper, so you don't have to add it. And the salt, but this amount is sufficient. Then you add the milk. So as you can see, it's a basic mixture. And I'm sure many people who make omelette would make a basic mixture like this. And it varies how thin or thick they want their omelette, or eggy, or if they want less milk. So it just varies. That's it. So that's the mixture ready. Just the base mixture, right? Okay, so I add the fat. Okay, so I add the fat, let it melt a bit. As I said, you can use oil, cooking oil, etc., or a plant-based margarine. So now the oil is warm. You pour the mixture in. And then you cover. Leave it for 3 to 5 minutes. And then you remove it from the stove. As you can see, it starts to sizzle now. This is where you cover it and put it on Mark 1 on the electric cooker. Or if you're using gas, you just turn it down to the perhaps the lowest temperature and just let it sizzle away. It's getting there. Okay, that's about it. Just a little bit longer. And just- Okay, So this is the Omlissh. Okay, so this is Omlissh. As you can see, it's pretty much like an omelette, but I steam it instead. So that's basically it. So what I need to do now is to put it on this plate. Please note that it can be a bit delicate. So I would imagine that sometime you might be trying to take it up and it break to pieces. But you can now quarter it like this. It's very delicate. And you just take out these bits. There you go. So that's your Omlissh. So it's not the omelette that you would fry and then fold over, but it's the same idea as an omelette, except that it's steamed. So as you can see, it break apart quite easily because it's very moist, but it still works. See how tender it is? No, I want it to be like this because in the future, when I start to add the forageable products that I show on my vlog, like wild garlic, wild leek, you'll start to see the difference when I cut it. But for now, this is your Omlissh. So, as I said, it's basically an omelette that's been steamed, and that's pretty much it. And in another version of this, I start to add the other seasonal products that I've been foraging for. However, it will have new names. Obviously, Omlissh is the base, but when you start to add the other seasonal products, then it becomes more flavorable. And obviously, the name will be extended because of the additional stuff that's added. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoy.